Now, what I will also say is, Angel, your actions are starting to speak so loud, we can't hear what you're telling us. Because what you told us, if we go back to March 31st, was simple. You said you think people just take it like we hate each other. And Caitlin Clark and I don't hate each other. I want everybody to understand that. That's what you told us. The problem is your actions vehemently disagree.
Last night, tensions in the WNBA boiled over once again. Angel Reese, one of the league's brightest stars and most polarizing figures, was officially suspended after a heated confrontation with none other than her longtime rival, Caitlin Clark. Fans are divided. Was this just basketball or something much deeper?
Probably every team in the league, if not all but one or two teams. And the two flagrants aren't just on the same team.
Yeah.
They're on the same woman on the same team. Yeah. It's not coincidence unless you believe that it is.
June 16th, Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. In a heated fourth quarter play, Angel Reese went up for what she called a basketball move, but missed the ball entirely, striking Caitlin Clark in the head. At first, officials called it a common foul, but after review it was upgraded to a flagrant one. And that decision? It sent shockwaves across the league.
It's a basketball play. I can't control the refs. They affected the game obviously a lot tonight, so I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back at looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle.
Reese downplayed the incident in her post-game comments, insisting it was just basketball. But she also threw shade, saying Clark benefits from a special whistle. Clark, surprisingly, diffused the tension, calling the hit part of the game. But fans weren't buying it.
It's part of basketball. It is what it is. She's trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean,
this is no random foul. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's rivalry goes back to March 2023, an NCAA championship clash that became one of the most viral moments in sports. Reese taunted Clark with a "you can't see me" gesture after LSU's victory. That moment made headlines worldwide and sparked a firestorm that has followed both players into the WNBA.
The definition of a flagrant foul is literally hitting somebody above the...
That was not a special whistle. That was the correct whistle. When it's a basketball play, there's contact, it's a foul. When the contact comes to the head, it is a flagrant, it's upgraded. So that was not a special whistle, sis. That was a correct whistle.
But in the WNBA, the drama only intensified. Earlier this season, Sky guard Chindi Carter blindsided Clark with a shoulder check. Reese? She was seen clapping wildly, celebrating the cheap shot. Just weeks later, Reese herself delivered the flagrant foul that got her suspended.
And here's where I'm going where the rivalry kicks in. Angel Reese, the reason why, obviously, the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing happened was because when they met in the NCAA tournament in 2023, when Angel Reese was doing all of this, because Caitlin Clark had been doing that to her opponents when she got the best of them. So Angel Reese and LSU got the best of her, and that's what she did unapologetically, okay? And Angel Reese is going to talk that talk. And so because she's going to talk that talk, and because she's a conscientious observer, and she's going to speak her mind, and she's going to be unapologetic in doing so, that is where you see her in the shine, and the throwing in stuff about her with Caitlin Clark really comes in the focus. If it's purely about their games are on two different ends of the spectrum. That's not the rivalry. The rivalry.
You're the play.
From ESPN's Stephen A. Smith to former WNBA players, the reactions poured in. Some defended Reese as a passionate competitor unfairly targeted. Others say she's embracing the villain role, wearing Joker-themed shoes, and doubling down on her rivalry with Clark. The question is this rivalry real, or is it being exaggerated for clicks and headlines?
With a lot what Shanae said, I think the thing is, I believe, Miss Carter, you can play hard without playing cheap. Now, if you want to say, well, she threw an elbow or a punch at my head, if you wanted to hip check her and you're trying to block her out for a rebound, I don't think we're having the discussion. Shanae, Monica, I don't think we're having that discussion. But because she was standing there and you go up and you do that, now all eyes are on you. Plus the fact, if people look at your resume, is who you are. You're a top 5 pick, and within inside of a year, you're kicked off a team. You go to another team, and within that situation, all that happens. Yeah, of course. It's the same thing. Stephen A. Put Stephen A. up on the screen for a second.
The controversy isn't just about basketball. Many argue race and media bias play a role. Reese herself has suggested she's treated differently because of who she is and how outspoken she's been. Meanwhile, Clark has become America's golden girl, shattering attendance and ratings records.
You think people just take it like we hate each other. And Caitlin Clark and I don't hate each other. I want everybody to understand that. That's what you told us. The problem is your actions vehemently disagree. Because on June 1st, after Kennedy Carter cheap shots Caitlin Clark, you get up and you celebrate the cheap shot of Caitlin Clark. And then you proceed to hug your teammate who just cheap shotted her. Then fast forward 2 days later, you say, I'll take on the bad guy role. Then fast forward 2 weeks later, you wear Joker shoes. Now, for those that don't know, Joker is obviously a notable villain character in one of the most famous stories that we all like to celebrate in Batman. And then yesterday, you get a flagrant foul by hitting Caitlin Clark in the head. It was a basketball play, family, but what I want is simply for Angel and those that are a little bit ignorant to what has been going on to understand that Angel's actions are starting to speak so loud, we cannot hear what is being said. For those that are unfamiliar, let me tell you all, there have been 540 minutes of Chicago Sky basketball. Pay attention to this detail. 540 minutes of Chicago Sky basketball, of which Caitlin Clark has played 74 minutes against the Sky. The Sky only have 2 flagrant fouls all season. Y'all want to know who the 2 flagrant fouls are on? Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA officially suspended Angel Reese and fined her $1,000 for skipping post-game media duties. The Chicago Sky were also fined $5,000. Reese reportedly lost it behind the scenes, furious at both the punishment and the public backlash. But some argue this was inevitable, given her recent actions.
I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And there's a bunch of punk, no good, you know what's out there on the male and female side who are abusive because they're really, really good at being that way when they're behind keyboards and away from cameras and out of the spotlight where people know exactly who the hell they are. The only reason that I brought up the first part about Angel Reese is this. Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. And Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't like seeing somebody black coming at somebody white who is a beloved star of theirs. That's not the case with all. It's not the case with most. But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from.
So, what's next? Reese will serve her suspension, but the rivalry with Caitlin Clark is far from over. Their next matchup is already circled on fans' calendars. And love them or hate them, both players are changing the WNBA. Ratings are up, arenas are packed, and the league is finally center stage. Whether it's real animosity or media-fueled drama, Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark is officially the biggest rivalry in women's basketball.
I think it wasn't a basketball play. It was an emotional reaction by Kennedy, and that's why it was a foul, and that's why it was upgraded, and that's why she was asked about it, and that's why the crowd reacted the way that they did, and that was a separate incident from everything else that's happening around Caitlin Clark. I think because we can look at that and then her response to it afterwards, her reaction in the post-game press conference, her comments that we just showed on social media, we can isolate this as, this is her sending a message to Caitlin Clark. This is her violently sending a message on the court in a non-basketball fashion. This is her using her words on social media to send a message about how she feels about Caitlin Clark. She said it herself. Those are her words. Yeah. What does she bring to the table? I think the conversation overall about Caitlin Clark and the reaction that we're seeing from a lot of people has become a bit toxic, because I think this incident is getting mushed in with how people have been playing defense on Caitlin Clark, how physical they've been on Caitlin Clark, some of the comments from some of the greats in the WNBA before Caitlin Clark got in. It's all kind of getting put into this pot of Caitlin Clark hate. And I think it's more nuanced than that. I think there are a lot of things that's happening with Caitlin Clark in the start of her career that are very normal to a lot of sports. You often see players who are in the league or players who have played before or greats have opinions about new rising stars in the league. That is not uncommon. That's not exclusive to women's sports. It's not exclusive to men's basketball. We can pull so many examples of that. You often see rookies get played very tough, get a little message shown to them, especially if they're coming into the league with a lot of hype. That also is not new. I think what is very specifically unique about this situation is we are seeing a transcendent crossover superstar come into the league and have a huge amount of buzz, of polarization, of excitement. It is translating in numbers. It is translating in ticket sales. It is translating in conversation. And overall, I think that's a good thing. I don't think that what Kennedy did is a reflection of how the entirety of the league feels. I don't think it's a reflection of how all female athletes feel. And I don't think it's a reflection of how the media feels. I'm excited about watching Caitlin Clark. I went to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. It wasn't my first WNBA game. I was excited to see how she performed. And I watched very, very, very physical play from the moment of the tip to the end of the game on Caitlin Clark. So I won't deny that there is a bit of an energy towards Caitlin Clark from the players. But this is basketball. This is competition. They are athletes. And I don't think that every part of the conversation around Caitlin Clark should be in the same pot.
Do you think Angel Reese crossed the line, or is she just being unfairly targeted? And what about Caitlin Clark? Does she really get the special whistle? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the WNBA's most explosive storylines.